We all know the stakes by now. 11 points the difference, albeit with a game in hand for Real Madrid, who are chasing Barca at the top of La Liga. But come Saturday in El Clasico, we're expecting a massive match, expecting an entertaining game, Ale. Real Madrid have to win, but what will make this a classic?
We already have the main ingredients. There is the fact that there's a history between these two clubs, there's a rivalry, there's a healthy dislike between the players that are actually going to be on the field. That does something for the game as well. As it pertains to this game individually, as for any game, an early goal will do a whole lot of good for the games because it forces team to open up. There's a little bit of desperation coming in, well, a lot of desperation for Real Madrid coming into this game, making it a must-win for them. So you know that they're going to attack, and the further the game goes, you know that they're going to commit those numbers forward. If they do that, it makes for an open game. Barcelona likes to play an open game as it is. Valverde will like for this team to be a little bit more defensive at times, but it's not in the nature of some of their attacking players to be defensive. If they get the ball in good areas, they're going to go attack. You have that open game, talented players with time and space, it makes for entertainment. That's what we want. We want an entertaining Clásico. These teams are not set up to defend. They're not set up to sit in behind the ball. That's not what they do best. And so, therefore, you give them the ball, you allow them to play, and that's where you're going to get some goals, you're going to get some entertainment.
A lot of credit went to Real Madrid in the last few years with winning the title, obviously, last time out, and continuing their dominance in the Champions League. A lot of it comes down to Zidane's tactical awareness in big games. He's able to coach the team into playing with their heads. Do you think there's a danger that he will try and stifle Barcelona to start with, set up very deep and try and win it late on, as opposed to that kind of guns blazing approach that you think the players are more naturally inclined to do?
What you have on the field for Real Madrid is players like Ronaldo, Benzema, Isco, Modric, Cruz. Which one of those players is the one that is really set up naturally to be the stifling sort of player? They're not. And so you have a personnel available to you that does not like to play that way. They want to have the ball. They want to take the game to other teams. And at times what Real Madrid has failed to do in this season is that the quality of play out of the midfield has not allowed them to set themselves up and create the platform from which now players like Ronaldo and Isco and Benzema and Bale, if he comes off the bench, or whoever comes off the bench, allows Real Madrid to create the opportunities and score the opportunities. I don't think Real Madrid at home is the sort of team that will just sit back and hope to catch Barcelona in a counterattack. It's not in the personality of that team. It's not in that group in particular. And I don't think you can force Marcelo to be a defensive guy. You cannot force Carvajal to be a defensive guy. When they want to go on attack, they want to be on the front foot. And if they do that, they force Barcelona to defend. So in some ways, controlling the game, controlling the rhythm and the pace of the game for Real Madrid forces Barcelona to react to Real Madrid. If you just sit back, you're saying to Barcelona, you have the ball. Well, you're giving the ball to Lionel Messi. You're giving the ball to Andrés Iniesta. Is that what's going to make you successful? I don't think so. Okay,
we'll see who has the game plan to get the better of each other in a must-win game for Real Madrid. Is it going to be style points over substance, or are Barca going to play this very coyly indeed? We'll find out come Saturday. It all comes down to 11 against 11, and the subs, of course, come the Clasico.
Thanks for that.
Well, I just want to explain why we're not picking 11. We're doing 5, okay? We're building our own Clasico 5-a-side team here.
What about the subs?
But no goalkeeper. We're going to start with picking either Sergio Ramos or Gerard Piqué. Ali, give me your 5.
It's a difficult one, this, because Sergio Ramos, he can give you a late goal that can win a big match for you, or he can do something entirely stupid and get thrown out of the game 10 minutes into the match. However, having said all that, begrudgingly, Sergio Ramos. And this is tight. This is a real close one.
Because of what he can offer you?
Yes, the potential on the good side. However, the potential on the bad side can also be very damaging, but I'll take Ramos.
Okay, I appreciate your opinion more than mine. I'm going to pick Sergio Ramos as well, though. Gerard Piqué 37 times a year, but for this game, I want a late winner in the penalty area. Yeah. Marcelo or Alba?
I think Marcelo gives you more in the attack, and he has become a critical part of the success of Real Madrid. Always a natural outlet down the left-hand side. Alba has been good over the last couple of weeks, scoring a couple of goals here and there, but I do think that Marcelo is so important to what Real Madrid does. Marcelo.
You're right. I'd put him in any team. Any team. Rakitic or Modric?
If you ask the Croatian national team, who's your guy? Who's your main dude? Who's the guy that you want the ball and want to have the ball to create for you, to run the middle of the park for you, he would tell you it's Luka Modric. And if he doesn't tell you, he's wrong. Luka Modric, that's my guy.
But I'm happy with what Rakitic gives me.
Well, I'm not unhappy with Rakitic. I'm just suggesting that if you're putting a team together, Luka Modric is a better player than Ivan Rakitic. That's all. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
So it's perfectly rational.
Yeah.
Suarez or Bale?
Well, this is not close. It has to be Luis Suarez. I don't know what Gareth Bale is going to be available. I don't know if his calf is hurting, his knee, has a headache, the sniffles, has a cold. Doesn't matter. Gareth Bale is barely available, and so therefore, by default, Luis Suarez.
Okay, just so you know, you can play with a headache. I'm going with Luis Suarez.
Apparently not Gareth Bale.
Well, maybe it's more than a headache.
Okay.
Luis Suarez, you're spot on. So here, the prized asset. Which way do you go?
I believe this is not close right now, right at this moment. And I know Ronaldo just won his Ballon d'Or, but that was based on past achievement, on what he had done in the past. As we're talking right now, it's not close. Lionel Messi is playing at a higher level than Cristiano Ronaldo. And more importantly, he's lively. Those legs are alive. Couple of sprints late in the game against Deportivo La Coruña. He's going side by side with the defender. It's not even close. He's leaving people behind. He's motivated. He's hungry. He knows Ronaldo's won a Ballon d'Or. There's something to prove for Lionel Messi, who was the best player against Deportivo La Coruña on the field, having missed a penalty, having hit the post 4 times. There's something about Messi right now that puts him a level above everybody else. It's not close. It's Lionel Messi.
See, the thing is, in my five-a-side team here, Ali, and this is the rationale behind it all, I've got my legs. I've got Marcelo. I've got Rakitic. I've got Suarez as my target.
Okay.
I need big-time finishers.
And okay, so what? Is Lionel Messi not a big-time finisher?
On Saturday, I think it's going to be Cristiano.
No. In general, it's.
Yeah.
Are you saying
big-time
Lionel
finishers.
Messi?
I need big-time finishers.
Okay.
You're playing five-a-side.
Hey, your guy has 2 goals in La Liga.
Yeah, but Lionel Messi, you're playing five-a-side. I think we're going to be all right. He doesn't have to run the length of the pitch. I just need him to goal hang.
Okay, that's fantastic, but you know your argument is making no sense, right?
It makes no sense to have these two in the team without him. No, you're right.
Okay, all right, fine.
Let's put them up against each other, see how they do.
Hey, professional integrity and all, huh?
I love it.
I think you're just picking just to pick them, just to have a conversation, which I appreciate. I guess this makes sense.
There's nothing wrong with a conversation. Let us know who would you pick?
Conversation is wrong, though.
At ESPN FC. We've got a new toy to look through Ali's projected lineups for the upcoming Clasico, which we're very excited about. And we're also very excited about this, Ali.
Excited about me or the toy?
I'm excited about the toy. I'm going to touch it in a minute, and I'm hopefully not going to break it. So talk us first of all through your projected or preferred starting 11 for Real Madrid.
And then this is what I would do. Now, it may change, but I think the way I look at it is that the players that are available, there are no injuries to account for, and so Keylor Navas makes it back into the starting lineup. He hasn't been good. Now, there's no question about that. But I think he deserves the opportunity to come good. And I believe this is a big match for Real Madrid. He's been in big matches for Real Madrid. I think he starts. In terms of the back four, I think there's no question about who would play there. Carvajal gives his team a natural outlet down the right-hand side. Marcelo does the same thing down the left-hand side. You will see Marcelo move up and down the line there, supporting Ronaldo and supporting whoever is coming out of the midfield into the wider areas. The key for me for Real Madrid, you would think would be in the front three. I think it's in the middle. It's what Casemiro does, it's what Toni Kroos does, and Luka Modric. Now, Casemiro has been excellent for Real Madrid. These two guys, Modric and Toni Kroos, they haven't had the sort of season that they had last year. They will be important. If they're able to control the rhythm of the game out of the midfield, it makes it a whole lot more difficult for Barcelona. In terms of the front three, well, you need a big performance from the big guy. He's got to have a big performance, and he hasn't been playing well. The truth of the matter is that Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, he won the Ballon d'Or, but he has not played well this season. That's fact. That's not opinion. Just look at the numbers, and you see the sort of performances, that the productivity or lack thereof by Ronaldo in La Liga. It's fact. He has to play better. Isco, he will come inside. He will go out wide. He will go in areas where now he can combine with Benzema. We'll see him appearing on the left. We'll see him appearing underneath. Ronaldo will switch over at times. Benzema will stay more central. If he goes out wide, then watch for Ronaldo to go on the inside. But again, the key for me in Real Madrid is what the guys in the three in the midfield, whatever they do, that's how far Real Madrid will get in this match.
It's going to be fascinating, isn't it? Because it's that 4-3-3 that we all know about Real Madrid. They're very comfortable with, regardless of what the form is, perhaps of Ronaldo or others individually. But when you talk about Barcelona and what they're going to come up against, it's a somewhat changed formation in terms of what we've seen in recent weeks for the 4-4-2 being more solid.
Well, and you got injuries playing a part here, and I think that makes the mind up of Valverde as to what he wants to do with this team. So Vermaelen steps into the back line simply because there are no other choices. The other choice is Javier Mascherano. Thanks, but no thanks. He's done. His game said match. He's not playing with Barcelona, not at this level. And so Vermaelen comes in. He's been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. What do you have out of the back four? Not a lot of surprises. Sergio Roberto instead of Semedo, because I think Sergio Roberto in this sort of match gives you a little bit more discipline defensively, a little bit more organization and awareness as to what his job is defensively, and because Barcelona is going away from home. So perhaps a little bit more conservative with Sergio Roberto. What you do out of the midfield is actually a change for Barcelona, and is the fact that you want to bring Iniesta onto the field because you like his creativity, but you have to cover him defensively, and so that's where Paulinho comes in. Not because he's going to be pretty with the ball, but because he's going to give you athleticism. He's going to appear on top of the 18-yard box, but he's also going to appear in the defensive 18-yard box. And when he does that, he covers for the lack of athleticism of Iniesta, and it frees Iniesta to do his thing in the attacking half. Lionel Messi, freedom to go wherever he wants. So he can go inside, he can go underneath. When he goes underneath, watch for Paulinho to join in the attack with Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez will stay central. When he makes those run out wide, then that provides space for Messi to work on the inside. Sergio Busquets, who was rested against Deportivo La Coruña because of the fear of a yellow card and a possible suspension, he'll be fresh. And Rakitic, who play in a deeper role against Deportivo La Coruña, will be more on the right-hand side of the midfield for Barcelona.
Based on all of that, which way is it going?
Oh boy, it's desperation time for Real Madrid. This is a must-win, and yet it feels that the level of play for both teams, I think there is great disparity there. Real Madrid has not been good. They haven't, and so they were impressive against Sevilla, but that's one performance out of many. If you're going to believe in form and you're going to believe to who the best player in the world is right now, that's Lionel Messi. He's a difference maker. Barcelona goes into the Santiago Bernabeu, at least get a draw, but I think what they do is that they get a win and they kill La Liga for good.
Okay, so maybe not as conservative as the outlook may suggest at starting 11. We'll see who performs better in the big one. Of course, full coverage here at ESPN FC.